your Tonal coach, Kendall Wood, your very good friend, Woody, and I am joined by our Tonal CEO, Darren MacDonald.
Hi, Woody.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's very exciting to have you here in New York.
I'm happy to be here. This is a great talk show we're doing today.
It is. Yes. Welcome to Woody's Workshop. Are you nervous to be on Woody's Workshop?
I am extremely nervous to be on Woody's Workshop.
We're going to talk all things Tonal today, beginning with a little bit about you and why you decided to join Tonal. What is it all about? Can you give us some of the backstory?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working in and around the fitness world for a while, and I've always grown up as an athlete. When I decided to take the next step in my career, I really wanted to join somewhere that was going to be helping human beings and help do something better for people. And fitness is a category that people can really grow with and people can get better as human beings, and that was a super important career step for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were a Tonal member prior to joining Tonal,
I was,
correct?
Yeah.
For many years, or?
Yeah, I guess probably just a little bit over a year. So yeah, I mean, I had a Tonal. My wife and I work on it quite a bit. So like, I love the product, and it was a big driver for me to join the company.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you currently enrolled in a program?
I am doing Pyramid Pump at the moment. I just finished House of Volume, which was a butt kicker.
Yeah, that is a crowd favorite.
Yeah, I threw up more weight than I thought I could probably throw up, but
I thought you were going to stop at threw up.
Yeah, I puked everywhere, every time. Yeah.
That would have been a fun anecdote for the crowd. Okay, so as a years-long member and one who has survived House of Volume too, if you're speaking to a prospective Tonal member, I'm curious how you would describe the Tonal experience.
I mean, for me, it's always been, you have the best of being in a gym, so all the equipment that you have in a gym that exists, as well as having a personal trainer, but you have it inside of your home. So for me, like the best part of it is like the convenience of being able to work out with everything you would need, somebody there to motivate you. And, you know, if you just look at like our business metrics around retention, those features show up, right? Because people end up sticking with programs and they continue to work out with this machine more than they do any other sort of in-home fitness equipment. So that's like a really powerful combination.
Mm-hmm. It's all about commitment, right? Yeah. When you've got everything that you need right here in Tonal and your trainer, why turn anywhere else?
Yeah.
Okay, well, coming back to a little bit about you and your experience and your relationship with Tonal, what are your training goals in 2025?
I want to get jacked.
Yeah, don't we all?
I mean, generally, you know, like overall health and wellness for me is important. I do need to work on more flexibility. Like I think mobility is something that I just haven't prioritized historically. And so it's something I definitely want to get better about. But overall strength, like I want to continue to get stronger. You know, I'm getting older, right? And like I got young kids and I want to be able to throw them around without throwing my back out. So getting stronger, you know, building more muscle and then mobility.
Okay, great. Well, we have a lot of that.
We got a lot of that stuff. Yeah, exactly.
How is Tonal's like wealth of content and also some of our newest features, how are they helping guide you along your training journey and maybe within these new training goals you have for 2025?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first off, I think like the training goals that we've put in are awesome, right? Yeah. And so as you go through the content, you can actually prioritize things that matter to you. So if you set those goals up, you can go through the content and say, I want to go focus on the things that are going to actually improve the things that matter most to me. So I've done a pretty good job of working through all of the coaches. Of course, Woody, I take more of your classes than anybody else, but
brownie points.
But you know, I definitely I work through Tim and Coach T and everybody like to understand sort of what everybody's personalities are, what their perspectives are. And I think you get a little bit of something different from every coach. So for me, it's actually like really good to sort of work from one coach to the next coach. And like I said, I mean, training goals are just a really high impact way for you to understand like what is the content you're taking and how does that actually affect the goals that I'm seeking to fulfill.
Definitely. I love that approach. I love that perspective. And actually, we've just recently launched another 4-week fast track this January.
Game on.
Which is kind of like approaching now our programming from the new release of these training goals. So we're combining several of our training goals into one program and also incorporating all of our coaches so that our community can get a chance to experience really what these training effect goals are really all about and also get a chance to work out with all of our coaches.
Yeah, so, it's brilliant. Yeah. It's just like the coach sampler.
Yeah, exactly. The sampler platter. We all want the sampler platter.
That's right.
I want to pivot a little bit and now talk about just Tonal as a company and Tonal outward facing. And since you've joined us here, how would you describe the company's direction under your leadership?
Well, number one, I think like we've got the best product in the market. So like when I was thinking about joining a company, I mean, the product market fit for this thing is unlike any other category that I've operated in. I mean, number one, fitness, you have high levels of enthusiasm amongst the members. And number two, the product is kick ass. I mean, it's really, really great. So for me, a lot of like what I'm trying to solve is just bringing awareness to the market about what Tonal is and how it can affect your life. So that comes down to marketing, marketing effectiveness, making sure that we're showing up in the best way. And then I think that's also kind of 1,000 tiny touch points on all the things that matter to our members and our community. We're obviously enhancing a lot of the internals with the next version of Tonal, which we can talk more about, and bringing new features to the market. All of those things can help our community show up better and help us as a company show up better for our members. So that's really where my main areas of focus are.
Yeah, amazing response. And I want to come back to our newest iteration of Tonal, our new trainer.
Exciting.
But we've talked a lot about community so far, and community is everything to us, right?
Yeah, it is.
Our members are everything. Their commitment to Tonal, their experience with Tonal is everything. And as you said, it's really all about getting Tonal out to more people.
That's right.
I'm curious, at this standpoint, at this stage, how do you think we can get more people to experience the power of Tonal?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. It's not any one singular thing. I mean, we refreshed a lot of the marketing to make people aware of what Tonal is and why it matters. And I should back up and say one really, really good thing we have going for us is a macro trend towards resistance training and strength training. You know, it's not all about just doing more cardio anymore. It's about doing cardio and strength together. So when you think about us as a company, having that sort of secular tailwind to our business has been like really, really impactful for us. So, you know, beyond that, again, for our community, being able to show up with more features and more things that help them to accomplish their goals is like, that's sort of priority number one for us.
Right. So with these macro trends and then also the ever-changing fitness landscape, do you think, or how do you think, Tonal is successfully pivoting and adapting to these trends and to the changing fitness landscape?
Yeah. Well, the analogy I usually give is like when people go travel, they walk into a gym, they grab a couple of dumbbells and they sort of like, you know, do a bunch of bench press and then they're tired and then they sort of wear out and they're never like operating on that sort of effective frontier of like where your most optimal workout is. And so one of the biggest areas of impact that we think that we can have as a company is like helping you to select what the right weight is for you at that given moment. And based on your performance, how much weight you're putting up, what the velocity looks like, how many reps you're able to do, we can use tools like AI to help sort of figure out exactly what that right weight should be across your workout, your sets, and even within reps. And I think that's like a pretty powerful thing for us as a company that really nobody else has been able to mimic.
Yeah.
So, you know, we think about data science and how our teams leverage that data to make sure that you get the most out of your workout. Like, it's really, really impactful in terms of what your outcomes look like.
Speaking of macro trends and what the community is looking for and how people are trying to achieve better outcomes in their health and lifestyle, I think that we're doing a pretty good job of targeting that with our upcoming Tonal Training Lab, wouldn't you say?
Oh, I'm super excited. Yeah, really, really excited.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty great example of appealing to the public interest and adapting to the fitness landscape. And when you look at what Tonal does so well and what our bread and butter is, working out in the comfort of home, you know, some might consider it a deviation and maybe some questions arise as, you know, why is this the right move for Tonal? So I'm curious why you think this is the right move for us and what excites you about this expansion into group fitness.
Yeah, I mean, you asked the question like sort of what's different, right? And how do we show up in a slightly different way and how do we get the word out? I mean, I think Tonal Training Lab is a really great way for us to get the word out. You know, in some ways, I think about my own journey to purchasing. Like, I was made aware of Tonal. It wasn't until I walked into a retail location and somebody gave me a great demo that I was like, oh, this is actually like way better than I ever anticipated. So for me, that was helped like to close me as a sale. We're now opening up a studio where people can go work out and not only like experience the trainer themselves, but actually work out with our coaches, which is like a really great selling moment. So people get to experience the best of Tonal right there down in Soho, and at the same time, you know, help us to build engagement with people on the trainer and hopefully end up, you know, buying them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, coming back to community, this is going to be a great way for some of our current members to get into the room, meet other passionate members, to engage with us, the coaches, to engage with other employees of Tonal, and again, continue to build some of that excitement. Also for prospective members. I personally can't wait for it.
The Woody fandom is going to be wild, isn't it?
Off the charts, Darren, off the charts. So one of the biggest things about Tonal Training Lab is that we will be featuring our brand new iteration of Tonal. Our official Tonal 2 has launched. This is a super exciting time for the company. I want you to talk a little bit about it. What makes it different from the classic trainer that members know and love?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I should just open up by saying this is the first product that we've released in coming up on 6 years. So this is a really, really big change for us in terms of the capabilities of the trainer itself. And really there's kind of 4 things that matter. Maybe 5, right? So I'll start with the 5th. The design is going to be different, and there's going to be features of the design that are bringing the aesthetic up even further. Chrome elements, there's more sort of unified colors within the entire trainer. I think it's going to look a little bit more beautiful than the last one. Number 2, one of the things that we've heard quite a bit from people is they want to be able to lift more weights. And this isn't just, big bulky guys and, the Joe Rodonis and Akeems of the world. This is like people who want to do more legs and deadlifts and squats and things like that want to move up from 200 to 250 pounds. So that's the big sort of feature change for us is 200 to 250 pounds.
It's huge.
It's big. The second thing is we're going to have form feedback. So using the camera on the device, we'll actually be able to say, when you do heavier weights, maybe one knee is kind of turning in a little bit. We'll be able to give you that feedback to say, hey, this is a form element that you should probably watch and make sure that you don't mess up. The third thing is aerobic mode. We call it aero mode. So that's going to give you the combination of doing something that is both, resistance training, strength training, and doing that together with an aerobic mode. And, we know from different boutique fitness studios and different things that people do, direct, coaching elements with different, prospective members, having the combination of those 2 things really is sort of the best possible workout. And then the last element, and the one perhaps I'm most excited by, is drop sets, which, if you've ever been in a gym and you've seen people, one person working out and 3 people standing behind them, one on either side of a, spotting, exactly. You might do up to, let's say you can do 10 reps of a certain weight. You get up to 8 and you're really starting to get fatigued. Somebody changes the weight and puts a lower weight on. Then you can start getting more workout, more reps done. And then that happens again, and then it happens again. And really that drives like the ultimate level of fatigue. And we ran a study through Florida Atlantic, really showing that muscle build will happen literally in half the time, or you'll be able to build twice the muscle. So as a feature for people who really want to get stronger and build muscle, it's like unlike anything else in the market. So I am extremely excited for the new product that we're putting out. The fact that people get to go engage with that in New York City is also pretty awesome, but it's a big day for Tonal.
It is a huge day for Tonal. A series of massive improvements and advancements to the trainer that are going to improve and advance all of our members' journeys as well and just take everybody to the next level. Yeah. I want to ask, can we continue to look forward to some software updates, some new features on the classic trainer as well?
Oh, yeah. So drop sets will get reverse compatibility. We're going to be rolling that out. Yeah, it's going to be great. But I would say just more broadly, I think where Tonal is as a company right now, we're continuing to innovate on new things, new modalities, new ways of working out, new accessories, new software experiences. Like, we're going to continue to build from here. And I think what you're going to see is an acceleration in the innovation that we do as a company and bringing more value to our member community.
Yeah, including new programming, right?
Let's go.
I'm excited for you to take some of my programs this year, Darren.
Next up.
Okay, one last question. Spill the tea. What would make 2025 a really solid, successful year for Tonal? What do you personally hope to achieve in the foreseeable future?
I always come back to this thing that when people try Tonal, our net promoter scores are extremely high. We think that our retention rates are far and away the best in the category versus any other piece of in-home fitness equipment. So for me, what success looks like is just bringing greater awareness of the product and of the company to people in, maybe more rural communities, or maybe even in, bigger cities that have just not been able to engage with it. So if we can get more people to try the product and end up purchasing the product because they see the power that it can have on being able to change their life, I think we'll have been, a pretty successful 2025.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So high retention rates and even higher retention rates in 2025. We're looking for more members in our community, and I think that we're going to get them.
Right on, right on.
Right on. Thank you so much for joining me, Darren, and thank you so much for joining me in the Tonal community. Until next time, I'm Coach Woody.